to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a chocolate chip red velvet bundt cake. This is my family's favorite kind of cake, and today is my husband's birthday, so I thought, what better day to make the cake than today? This cake is inspired by the Nothing Bundt Cakes red velvet cake that they have. If you guys have ever had any of their cakes, then you know that they are amazing. My recipe is not the same as theirs, but the taste is very similar. If you guys want to see how I make my cake, then just keep watching. To make the cake, I'm using red velvet cake mix, vanilla, vegetable oil, cream cheese, semi-sweet chocolate chips, powdered sugar, mayo, 3 large eggs, butter, sour cream, and I'm using cooking spray to coat my bundt cake pan. I'm also using a hand mixer, mixing bowls, measuring cups. I'm going to use a wire cooling rack, a freezer bag instead of a pastry bag, and some frosting tips. I'm starting by preheating my oven to 350, and I'm putting my cake mix into my mixing bowl, and then I'm adding 3/4 cup of sour cream into my cake mix. You do want to make sure that your sour cream is at room temperature. After the sour cream, I'm adding in a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil and a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. Next up, I'm adding 3 eggs, and those also need to be at room temperature. Now I'm adding in 2 teaspoons of vanilla before I start mixing everything together with my hand mixer. I'm using the hand mixer on low until all of the ingredients are combined, and then I'm upping the speed to medium and beating all of the ingredients together for about 2 minutes. Once everything's all mixed together, I'm going to be adding in 1 cup of these semi-sweet chocolate chips and then just mixing those into my batter. Once I was mixing those in, I realized I forgot the 1/2 cup of water, so I'm now adding that in and then mixing it in with my electric mixer on medium speed for about another minute until everything is all mixed together. Now I'm using my cooking spray and I'm coating my bundt cake pan generously with the oil so that my bundt cake comes out really easily once it's cooked. And now I'm just pouring the batter into the bundt cake pan. After my batter's all in my pan, I'm going to be placing my cake in my 350-degree oven, and I'm going to be baking mine for 45 minutes. Ovens do vary, so you do want to check your cake. You can do that by inserting a toothpick and making sure that it comes out clean. I'm going to be taking out my cake, and I'm placing mine on a wire cooling rack, and I'm going to leave it cool for 20 minutes. After my cake is done cooling for the 20 minutes, I'm now taking a butter knife and running it along the edges of the cake pan. This is going to help my cake pop out of the pan a lot easier. And then I'm taking the plate that I'm putting my cake on and then just flipping my cake over and giving it a little jiggle so that it pops right out of the pan. I'm then taking plastic wrap or saran wrap, and I'm going to be wrapping my entire cake in this before I place it in my refrigerator. This is going to lock moisture into your cake, and I'm leaving mine in the refrigerator for about 3 hours today, but you can leave it in your refrigerator overnight if you wanted. Next up, I'm going to be making the frosting for my cake. Now I'm measuring out my 2.5 cups of powdered sugar, and I'm going to be setting this aside for when I need it for the rest of my frosting here in just a minute. And then I'm taking a separate mixing bowl and putting in the 1/4 cup of softened butter and the 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. I'm going to be mixing those with the electric mixer on low just to get them mixed together, and then I'm going to be upping the speed to medium and mixing that together for about 2 minutes until it's nice and creamy. Now I'm going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I am only doing 1 teaspoon. I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon measuring spoon here, so it looks like I did 2, but I did only use 1 teaspoon. I'm mixing that all in, and then I'm going to be adding in that pre-measured powdered sugar that I did earlier, and I'm doing that on low speed. This is sped up, so it looks like I'm doing it really fast, but you do want to do it on low speed and gradually add the powdered sugar in a little bit at a time in between mixing it together. Now I've got my frosting all made, and I'm going to be using this freezer bag as my pastry bag. I did cut the end of the freezer bag off so that I could put my frosting tips in there. And I did get these at Walmart. These are the Wilton brand. I know that you can buy all kinds of different frosting tips from different stores, or you don't have to use them at all, but I do like the way that they look when I'm frosting my cake. So I'm just putting the frosting in the bag and then squishing it down to the tip so that it's easier to come out when I'm frosting my cake. To frost my cake, I'm starting at the center, bringing the frosting down and then back up to the center again. You don't have to frost your cake this way, but I really like how this design looks. If you're a beginner at frosting bundt cakes, this is also a really easy design to do, especially if you're new at using a pastry bag and frosting tips. This is a really simple way to frost your cake. Once I've got the entire cake frosted all around, I'm going to be putting the rest of the frosting that's in my bag in the very center of the cake until it's completely filled with frosting. That's the last step for this chocolate chip red velvet bundt cake. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell before leaving. Thank you so much for watching.